Hey, this is Chris with Big Sexy Outdoors. And whether you're cutting up your favorite vegetables for your favorite herbivores, or slicing some onions for some good old-fashioned sandwiches, and in fact, these knives are so easy to use, you won't even have to ask her to make you a sandwich. Okay? You can use the slicer, cutting up your favorite meats. Use your chopper. Really get in there. All of these are brought to you by Matthew Blade Works, and he has this special Christmas set on sale. Use the PSO for getting $50 off. Thanks again.
Hey guys, it's Big Sexy with Big Sexy Outdoors. If you guys are looking for your bucks to be big and sexy like me, I recommend you go out and get yourself some Big Sexy by Domain. This product is filled with radish, turnips, and kale, and other vegetation to keep the deer coming back all season long. Go out to your local Tractor Supply and purchase some today. Big Sexy by Domain. Let me start by saying that's one of the guys we want to sponsor just because it says Big Sexy.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Guys, hey, thanks for joining us tonight. We're always happy to be here. We love what we do. And we have a special guest joining us tonight. So this is Sean Sparrs with Sparrs Outdoors. And I don't know if you guys stopped and checked out any of his stuff, because I know we posted during the week. We always put up a few posts letting everyone know who's a guest is going to be. I know I did. And, man, I'll tell you what, he's got some cool stuff. He's got some cool stuff on there.
Yeah.
A couple of my favorite things were walleyes, sturgeons, things that I like walleye around here, but we don't catch a whole lot of them around here.
Right.
And you guys are just murdering them. But anyway, we'll get into all that. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Tell us a little bit about you, your channel, what you're about, where you're going. We're all in, man. Let's have this conversation.
All right. So I'm I'm only 2 years into this. I'm a new YouTuber. I've always liked to help others out. So I do a lot for the veterans, a lot for the kids. I do giveaways every single Thursday on my YouTube. Every other Thursday is veterans and kids giveaway. And then every Thursday there's a giveaway though. I've got an episode because I used to love watching Babe Wink. I grew up watching Babe Winkleman, and he had that episode of In the Kitchen with Chris. Chris's Kitchen, it was called. So we've got an episode on Sparrs Outdoors called In the Kitchen with Holly, and that's every Tuesday at 6 o'clock. And we're always cooking wild game and fish and stuff like that. But yeah, we're just an outdoor channel that loves trying to help others and give the best advice we can. I do weekly fishing reports, and they're honest, and if somebody needs something, we make sure they get it. And I got a great following. My fans, they're actually more friends. It's like a family on my channel. Everybody's willing to help everybody out. So all over the state of Michigan, whenever somebody needs a question asked, it's answered fast on my channel. So my sponsors are awesome. It's going really well for me. It really is. It's going really well. I've met a lot of great people. I've done 9 seminars now. More seminars to come. So it's just a great thing.
So sponsors are a big deal while you're on and starting. Why don't you give a shout out to your sponsors?
Absolutely. I've got a lot of them to name, but there's some really good sponsors behind me on this board.
There you go. Blow it up, Chris. There we go. That's what we were looking for. Some of your sponsors. Make sure people can see them.
Yeah.
Sponsors are a big deal when you're doing this stuff. So always shout out your sponsors so they know you're always. It's a big deal. You keep them people happy. It makes your life a little easier.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So on your team, how many are on your team? I know your wife has been part of your team that I've been watching. She is a huge part of your team.
Absolutely. Yeah, she is. She's a huge part of this. All the kids, all the kids in the household. My dad don't really like to be on film, but he's getting into it a little bit more. My brother Brent, he does a lot of the ice fishing and stuff with me. So it's the Sparr family thing, but a lot of my people that were just subscribers become really close friends of mine. Some of them become sponsors of mine, and we all fish, we all hunt together, it just keeps growing. So when I say team, I'm actually going to make a team up, a Sparrs Outdoors team for my YouTube channel, and it's going to consist of about 20 people, I think.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's our goal. Our goal is to grow big around the states. and then be able to pull footage from each other, share footage for each other. That's cool. I think that's really cool. That's kind of a plan we have, and I think it's neat someone else has the same goal.
Absolutely.
So I have to ask this because you don't hear many husband and wife teams. Okay?
No,
that's not something you hear often. How does that? Does it just click and it goes, or there's?
She grew up fishing with her grandmother, and this is how I'll tell you how we met. Well, we kind of knew of each other, but she was with a guy that I went to school with, and I was going through a breakup. She was going through a breakup. She asked me some fishing questions. I give her some answers. Next thing you know, I'm taking her fishing, showing her things, and that's how we kind of got to where we are, and she's the best thing that's ever happened to me. And, she's my fishing partner, and my sponsors all see it. There's days she outfishes me. It's absolutely crazy. Just teaching her a little bit, but she's so into learning everything. She watched me for a week and a half straight how I was jigging when I was vertical jigging. From shore, which you're not vertical when you're on shore, your stuff's going downstream. And she was watching how I was moving my wrist, moving my hand, and next thing you know, she's pulling limit after limit after limit out. So, she is absolutely. And then hunting, same thing. She was in the woods with me every day. Didn't matter what temperature it was, she was out there. Helps me hang my licking branches, does my water holes, helps me prepare for my food plots, all of it, So she's just awesome.
Oh, I want you to know, I think that's really neat too.
Yeah.
That's not something you hear of, Chris. That's not something you hear my wife supports me or my wife thinks it's neat or maybe she'll tag along once in a while, but your wife is a huge part. She's part of all of it.
And she's camera shy, so to even have her do that in the kitchen episode where she's cooking wild game every Tuesday at 6, that was hard to a fan wanted to see it, and my dad brought it up. He's like, why don't you do that like the old Chris's Kitchen? And then Holly agreed to it, and she does it every week. So
I will tell you, I'm a little nervous talking about fishing though now.
Yeah.
Last time he talked about fishing, he took somebody home. Now I'm scared. No, speaking of fishing though, I'll tell you what. I was watching your stuff, man. I was watching you catch these sturgeon. Yeah. I have never caught a sturgeon. I've always wanted to catch one. You have to tell me what does that feel like? That there's gotta be.
It's absolutely, there's no other way. I've only I fished in Canada a little bit, but I've always fished right here in the Great Lakes, and obviously that's the biggest fish in the Great Lakes, hardest fighting fish. My buddy took me out. I begged to go because it was one of the last fish on my whole list of the Great Lakes fish that I've never caught, and finally he took me out and he taught me a few things, and I was addicted. You don't catch the sturgeon catch you, and you get addicted. So I started canceling my salmon trips. I go to the west side every year, so I'm sturgeon fishing every day. But when the bite's kind of crazy because they bite like a perch, and you can't let them feel that. You can't let them feel no tension. So what we use is a slide sinker and a 6/0 circle hook, and just fill it with crawlers. And then you just wait for that little bite, pick the rod up. You wait for the third time he sucks it in, and then you just kind of reel down and lift up. You don't set the hook. You just kind of reel down, lift up, and then it's game on. It's like, the fighting's amazing. Some of the jumps they do, 6 foot out of the water. You get a 70-inch fish jumping 6 foot out of the water multiple times. And then shooting 100 feet down. That's something.
Yeah, I've watched videos. I've seen some of these things you guys are posting. I think it's awesome. I'm always like, dude, I gotta catch one of them. That is awesome. I've been in Michigan 3 times for work, and I always say I'm gonna hit one of the Great Lakes when I go out, and I never do.
Yeah, you better.
I'm always stuck working. I go out there and then I just keep working, and then finally it's time to go home, and it's too late.
Right.
And that's something. So I seen on them sturgeon. So some of your videos I was watching on tag fish. What's with the tag?
Yeah, they tag them to. We got a huge thing called Sturgeons for Tomorrow, and it's a great thing they do. They monitor the sturgeon and make sure that we're getting good numbers coming back and stuff like that. And they don't really. We learned a lot of things by those tags that they don't go very far. I caught matter of fact, one of the sturgeon I caught was caught 4 times last year as well by other anglers. And they do put tags in their head too, and you can get the little metal chip or the little chip reader scanner, which I'm going to get one this year because some of the sturgeon I caught were probably tagged. I didn't know it. The only ones I knew about were the ones that had the tag visible on the fin. But I caught 5 tag sturgeon last year, and that's something else, you know. Like it's something to catch a sturgeon, let alone catch a tag. So then to catch 5, and then like I said, last year was my first year sturgeon fishing, so I entered the sturgeon tournament and took the most inches overall. So it was absolutely crazy.
Dude, that sounds insane.
We caught 26 sturgeon in one night.
26 sturgeon in one night. What was the
Yep.
smallest?
The smallest sturgeon I think was, they do get, you know, you can catch the smallest. I think it was like 26, but the biggest was 70 inches exactly. So a lot of 65, 68 inch.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're using catfish rods like you use.
Yep, like up here in the video going on right here. That's my buddy Jojo right there. He's getting ready to set the hook on one. But yeah, we're using pretty much musky rods and big catfish rods. Yep.
Man, that's I didn't, when I first looked at them, I didn't know if they were like a small version of a deep sea rod. It's kind of what they reminded me of.
Pretty much.
And I was like, man, I can't believe some of them fish you guys are catching are just tearing it up. I mean,
yeah.
You think they snapped them poles off?
Oh, it's crazy the way the rod tip will be in the water under the boat, and it's just it's crazy fun.
And then they microchip them.
Yeah.
Love you. Sorry, my daughter stopped. They're leaving. Love you.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
So the fact that they microchip them almost like a dog, is that what you're saying? Like it went under the skin?
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. And then they monitor where they go, and all through their whole life, they'll know where that fish is at, you know? So, and you're catching 100-year-old fish. It's just amazing. I think it's absolutely amazing.
I was going to ask about, because I don't fish generally, but what is the bag limit for something like that?
1 per year, and it's between 42 and 50 inches. Anything else has to be released, but you're allowed to keep 1 per year. I've never kept one, and until I eat, if somebody keeps one and I eat it and I like it, I might keep one, but until then, I'm going to release them. You know, it's a pretty old fish if it's great, like everybody says it is, everybody says it's great, but until I personally try it, I got walleye and salmon all the time.
Dude, that's a dinosaur. That's a dinosaur is what that is.
They're dinosaurs.
But I seen you were catching walleye. Now, we catch walleye around here. Walleye around here, you're looking at it, I want to say an average walleye somewhere between 16 to 20, 22 inches.
Yeah.
It looks like you were catching slammers. Oh,
yeah, we'll get them up to 8, 9 pounds. We used to get them consistently that size, but average fish around here, when the bite's good, it's still good. There's a lot of small fish right now, but average 18 to like yours, 18 to 24 inches, you know. But yeah, we get a lot of big ones too, you know. I mean, when you're catching a 3-man limit, you're gonna have 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 pounders on the boat.
I was laughing because I seen you were using I call them shallow divers with the certain beak on them.
Yeah, Rapalas.
They're Rapalas, right? But I always call them the real skinny ones. I call the shallow diver, and then the fatter ones I call the deep divers. You know, because they pull themselves down a lot more with the heavier head.
Okay.
And I was like, dude, he uses the same stuff we use.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I thought that was neat because, you know, even though you're in Michigan and we're in PA, I'm always curious when you change waters like that and distance like that. Is there always a major part in that? So it was really cool to see there wasn't.
Yeah, no, if they'll hit a walleye bait in one body of water, inland or great, it don't matter where you're at, they're going to hit it anywhere else too. Especially, I got one of my sponsors, John Latham. He custom paints all my. I don't even own a stock colored Rapala no more. They're all custom painted, and I've got some that's caught over 300 walleye on one lure, you know. So. And
wow.
Those the ones we kind of keep on the I think that's where I caught my first. I think this was my very first sturgeon right here, and it jumped.
This video.
Yeah, this is my very first sturgeon on my buddy's boat there. It jumps right here. So at some point in time, it goes up right there.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
I got it almost like a swordfish.
Yeah, I got it slow motion here.
That's insane.
So my first one happened to be 68 inches.
Dude, I gotta go sturgeon fishing.
You have to. You ever want to go, you come to Michigan, anywhere from July 16th all the way up until the end of deer season, I'll take you.
Dude, I love catching 50-pound flatheads. I can't imagine what that feels like.
Yeah, it's an absolute blast.
I can't imagine. That's about the biggest thing we catch around here. Is you get muskie here and there, but I've never got lucky enough to catch a monster muskie.
Right.
Now, I always ask this when we talk to a YouTuber on here. What started the YouTube part of it?
What's that, buddy? I missed the question.
What started the YouTube part of it?
What started is I took a YouTuber. He wanted to make a video how to whip walleyes on his channel. So I took him in my boat, and I think we caught 100+ fish that night. And he made one heck of a video, and he comes back and he said, "You need to start a YouTube." And I said, "No, I'm not going to do that." He said, "I can get you a sponsor tonight. You should start a YouTube." And I said, "No, I'm not going to." So he grabs my phone, sets me up YouTube, and said, "This is how you got to do it, and you're going to start making videos." And that's literally how it started. I didn't want to, and he kind of forced me into it.
Yeah, but now you're liking it, right? I was just saying.
I absolutely love it.
So where are you at subscribers? You're hitting.
I'm last I looked, I was like 3,400 almost.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was just saying you were up over to 3,000 the last time. I didn't look at your last number, but I knew you were over 3,000.
Yep.
And that's cool. I mean, 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years. So, and you're way ahead of us.
Right.
So that's really cool. I mean, when you start off and you're trying, yeah, I will say, I think all these big fish, your wife cooking, I think that helps. Do you think that helps a lot?
Yeah. Yeah.
I do. I think the camaraderie, the togetherness of you and your wife. I watch some of your stuff. I think that's a huge part. Like you don't see that.
Absolutely, it is. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be doing all this. There's no way.
I think that helps you grow. I mean, I always say that teamwork makes a dream work, but you have a better partner than anybody. You've somebody that knows you better than anybody there is.
Yep, absolutely.
Chris, you had a question. I know you did. I love when your face pops up. I already know you have a question.
No, I was just wondering. I've been up in that area before with Michigan and all. Do you prefer lakes or inland?
I prefer lakes.
Yeah.
I don't do much inland fishing, much at all, because everything you can catch in inland, you can catch out here in St. Clair River, or Lake St. Clair, or Lake Huron, and bigger numbers and bigger fish when you find them, like crappies. Crappies, for instance. I love crappie fishing. I got a video. It's called "The Art of Crappie Fishing." I just love crappie fishing. So down on Lake St. Clair, that's one of the best crappie fisheries in the world. Nobody realizes that. And the canals, and even out on the bay, out in the weed beds, 18-inch crappie. You get. I'm not saying you're going to catch 25. You're not going to catch your limit of 18-inch crappie, but you can easily catch 14-inch plus for a limit. Every day. So you just got to know where to go. So I don't really do inland. And then perch, same thing. Walleyes, I can walk 5 minutes from my house, and I can cast off the beach and catch my limit of walleyes, or I can take my boat out and go jigging, or take my boat out and go whipping, or take my boat out and go hand lining, or trolling. Whatever I want to do, I can do it, So easy access type thing. But I do like going to the ponds and stuff like that, and the big inland lakes, casting for pike and bass with the kids, because that's a fun time too.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I like how you have the camera set up looking at the back of the boat. I like.
Yeah, that's my buddy's boat. He just redid the whole thing. It's an old boat, but this was my first sturgeon. It was on his boat, and I couldn't believe that. When I seen this thing come in the boat, I was just shocked, man. It was 68 inches, just over 68. You'll see here when I lift it up. It's something else.
Dude, those are sick. I've always watched so many videos. Those are sick, man.
What is something like that way?
They're such a beautiful fish.
What is something like that way?
I'd say that one was probably right close to 100 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. It had 32-inch girth. The biggest one caught on my boat is 72 inches with 38-inch girth. Guessing right around 140 pounds on that one.
Wow.
Yeah,
dude, that's insane. That's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
That's got to kill the old friend.
Oh, you're tired. You're tired after fighting one.
Yeah.
What what are your kids' favorite part of this? I have to ask. Your kids have to have a favorite part of this.
They just love how they get to go out and do these things. I've raised them. When I first got with my wife, my stepkids, they're all of our kids. It's just we're a family in a whole. But I hate using the word step, because it is what it is. They they were into the outdoors, but I was really into the outdoors and taking my stepson out there. His favorite thing to do is turkey hunt and sturgeon fish. And then my stepdaughter, she loves a deer hunt, and my stepson loves a deer hunt too. Don't get me wrong, we all love deer hunting, but each kid's got their own favorite thing. Like I got twin boys that are 20. One of them really loves deer hunting, the other one really loves fishing. It all works out because I always got somebody to go with.
And you love to do it all,
I do it all.
So it's a win-win, right?
Yeah, I've never been addicted to anything in life besides hunting and fishing. And I tell people all the time, I said, man, I understand, you're going through a hard time with your addiction or whatever, but I got the most expensive addiction there possibly is. Just like buying these lures for $15 a piece, and you get one box is $5,000. You start looking at how many you got, you're going, wow.
I always say Mossy Oak said it right when they said it was an obsession.
That's 100% right.
Because you come back to a point where you're like, I don't know how else to word it. It really becomes an obsession. It's something you love to do so frequently.
Yep.
That you just continue to do it. And like when a weekend comes and I have a 60-hour weekend, I can't wait to go fishing. I can't wait to get out and walk in the woods. I just absolutely love it.
Yep. Every time you're talking, I'm getting a text. My buddy says, "We going walleye fishing later?"
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we probably are.
Yeah.
So let me ask you. You mentioned fishing, of course, and you mentioned the deer hunt. Do you do trapping, duck hunt, waterfowl of any kind?
Absolutely, do it all. We didn't do no trapping last year. My dad got an injury. He's a very well-known trapper around here, and he's very good at it. But the year before I started YouTube, him and my wife caught over 100 beaver, 300 muskrat, like 115 mink, and like 19 or 20 coyotes at the end of the snaring season they got, So we're going to do a lot of videos on trapping this year and how we do it.
Please do.
I grew up trapping, it's just a great, I'm so blessed the way I got to grow up,
Dude, that's awesome.
That's going to be fun. That's going to be fun.
That's a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah, and as for duck and goose hunting, I absolutely do it. We threw a couple short videos up last season. It was my first season back doing it in 15 years, but I used to go so hard at it. At one point in time, I had 9 layout blinds and over 50 goose decoys. And next thing you know, I've got 12 dozen decoys, and I ended up investing so much money into it. People thought I was a guide service, and I wasn't. I was just taking friends and family and shooting a bunch of geese and ducks, but I stopped doing it. It got really expensive. A lot of guys started leasing fields around here. Actual guide services started leasing the fields I used to hunt in, so I lost a lot of spots. But I started picking those spots back up, so I started getting into it a little bit again, last year. And I've never forgot how to blow a duck or goose call. And turkey hunting, I've got 21 beards hanging out here on the wall, so we love the turkey hunt. We do it. We literally do it all. The only thing I can say that we used to have beagles and do rabbit hunting. That's really what we don't do much of no more. A buddy of ours that we used to rabbit hunt with, he's wheelchair bound the rest of his life. My dad's beagles both got hit by cars, and after that, we kind of that was it,
You have to make a late season trip to PA, it sounds like. I can hook you up with that. We do a lot of beagle hunting late season.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I love hunting with beagles.
Come on out, man.
Yeah.
We'll make it a thing. I'm telling you, we do a lot of late season. That's one of my favorite things in the world to do in the late season.
Is it really? Yeah, I always tell my wife how wonderful rabbit is, and she's like, every year she's like, "You gonna go get some rabbits?" And I go out and try to kick brush piles, but the spots that we used to rabbit hunt so thick, you kick a brush pile and he's gone before you can even see it. So without the beagles, it's hard to do.
It's tough because with a beagle, the moment you kick, that tail's history.
Yeah,
beagle, you want to kick and move, that's fine though. You want that beagle to bring it back around in a circle at some point.
Yeah, this is my buddy Bob Barham here. He's a guide at the Rooster Ranch. He's got his third world champ dog. His world champ just got his title. So
Yeah,
Now,
I saw Bob's comment, and I'm like, oh, I already have that video pulled up.
those
I'll
are
just
black
play that one.
labs, right?
yeah, that's his dog right there. That's his dog's a world champ. He's just an amazing guide. He's not your typical guide. And the Rooster Ranch is a beautiful place. We had a great time out there. So this dog here is Bella and Emily. They're great dogs. Me and Bob become real close buddies. He's a real good buddy of mine.
Here, watch. I'll show
That's
you.
my son Jason right there. They kept missing, and finally I took the gun. I said, I've had enough.
Look, I hope you can see her. I got a black lab, man. I love my black lab. She loves to hunt.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, she loves it. Matter of fact, if I tell her to go find, I gotta watch what I say because she'll start tearing my house apart. Yeah, she will. She'll flip things over with her nose. She's looking at everything. My dog is no world champ, but she loves to do what she does. That's for doggone sure. Bob, you and I would get along well. I got to get her out more. The issue, that's something I try to do late season.
Right.
Do you late season or do you early season?
We do it all. We do every bit of the earlier the better. When you're going up here to the Rooster Ranch, you want to go when it's earlier because you got more cover. The later it gets and that cover starts falling down, and all they do is they run.
I guess on a ranch like that, I probably would be all right. Over around here, it's all state game lands. There's not many things like that around here.
Right.
And it's miserable. I mean, I'm always afraid my dog's going to get shot, to be honest with you. That's what I'm afraid of.
It's the same thing here, and we don't have pheasants around. Like we have a lot of state land here in Michigan too. It used to be filled with pheasant and partridge and you name it, but the coyotes just wiped them out. I mean, gone. So
I love that your screen says miss.
All the kids kept missing. Finally, I get sick of it. I take the gun. I said I got to put some pheasants on. I want to eat some pheasant.
You sound like me, man. I let my kids go for so long, and I'm like, you gotta get out of the way, man.
Yeah.
I can tell you 1 year, you'll enjoy the story because you have kids. So 1 year, there was a 12-pointer coming in. And he was coming in faithfully for a week straight.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, I'm gonna take my bow today. She's like, no, Dad, I'm good. If he comes, I'll get him. And now you understand that she missed 12. Never shot, not even missed. Wouldn't pull the trigger on her crossbow. I bought her a youth model crossbow.
Yeah.
For $12. And I said, that I had within 30 yards. And I said, dude, I'm not letting you not pull a trigger on a 12-point. I love you. I'm not doing it. I love you. It's not happening.
Right.
So I hang my bow up, man. I've been watching this buck. All of a sudden, here comes this doe, and this buck's chasing. Well, here it was only a little 6. She got so excited. It was straight under the tree stand. I was at the ladder. Like, it was straight. I was at the tree stand. She's leaning down going like this. Never took the safe off.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. I laughed. I'm going, take off the safe. Take off the safe. But the deer's right there. I can't say it loud,
Right.
And this buck goes 20 yards out, stops dead. It must have heard us and looks up. But when it looked up, man, I already had reached around the tree. And I was there.
Yeah.
She's like, I can't believe you shot that. You're so mean.
Venison come home, though.
I said, honey, I love you, but I need you to know Daddy needed jerky. We're done watching that.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I love that you do so much different stuff. And I think that's a lot of guys get stuck on. Let me ask you. So let's just ask you how it is. Are you a meat hunter or are you a trophy hunter?
I'm a meat hunter. We do let a lot of the small bucks grow. If I see a buck I like, though, and when I say grow, I'm not waiting. We live in Michigan, and we don't have big property to hunt. Everywhere we hunt, we got hunters all the way around us. But we do pass up a lot of bucks, knowing they're probably not going to, make it, but some of them always do. And if we get a nice 2.5-year-old in front of us, 100-inch buck, I'm not scared to let them have it, So, and I take a lot of crap for it, but I'm like, hey, I shoot consistent nice deer year after year. My freezer's always full. You can tell I don't miss a meal. So none of my kids do. We're all good. we've got bucks from 140 inches all the way down to, back when these guys, my twins first started hunting, if it had antlers, they shot. It didn't matter. But we do let a lot of deer go and grow. Absolutely. And I do put a lot of work in to do it. And we get some of those bigger deer in the areas because we put in the work and we don't pressure them like the other guys do. And once in a while, I get like my brother shot a 155-inch 14 point. So and last year my dad shot two twin 10 points back to back. And, it all depends. I've had years where I went all the way until the end of rut before I finally squeezed the trigger. And the only reason I squeezed the trigger is because I knew if I don't, my freezers are going to be pretty slim, So if I'll trophy hunt as long as I have meat in the freezer, I can put it that way.
Yeah, I learned that myself. I'm not afraid to wait for a buck I've seen. I did last year a little bit. I had my bow blow up the first day.
Oh.
It blew up. And then I was like, okay, we'll got to figure it out. So within the week, I got a bow. Ended up getting COVID.
Oh.
I'm off of work, no bow. You want to talk about a man that can cry? So I have nothing to go hunting the whole time I'm off of work with COVID.
Right.
So then I end up, how the heck was it? I ended up having a couple buck come in after that, but I seen this monster. I'll have to send you a picture. I seen this monster, and my heart was set. I needed him. But as the weeks got longer and the days grew shorter,
absolutely,
you start thinking that buck ain't so big no more.
Right? Yeah, it's meat first, especially with all the prices of things. I can't believe it's out of this world. Right now, we're paying $4 a gallon for gas here. It's crazy. I don't know what you guys are paying, but
$3.66.
Yeah, it's out of this world. It's crazy.
And that's cheap.
Yeah, a gallon of milk's almost $5. It's stupid.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
It's insane.
Jason Sparr. Yeah, I haven't hunted pheasants in years. My shots really sucked.
That's my son.
I love honesty.
Yeah, he was off his game.
Yeah, I love honesty. I will always love honesty, whether it's good or bad. Honesty is rocks.
It does. It does.
That's a great comment.
And people laugh at me because I'll admit when I'm wrong. When I'm like, hey, you know what? You're supposed to be a professional. I always say this though. I don't believe in professional. The word professional means you're perfect at everything you do, and I don't know anybody like that.
No,
and
nobody.
Last week, somebody said something about Kevin Van Dam on one of my lives. I said, he's from Michigan. He grew up fishing Lake St. Clair. I said, I call him out on a bass fishing. Let's go. I don't even bass fish, but I call Kevin Van Dam out. But then he's got to come walleye fishing with me, and we'll see who catches the most walleyes, And I know it'll never happen, but I was just trying to make a point that professional is a big word. If you're, my dad was a painter for almost 45 years. He never called himself professional, He just said, I'm a painter. Right. So,
I think that's a great way to look at it, honestly.
Yeah, and people, am I good at a lot of things? Yeah, but if I'm not learning something, then I feel that I don't need to go no more. I just love to learn.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I think every time you step in the woods, every time you get on a boat, every time you pick up a rod, or a bow or a gun, you have to learn. If you're not learning, there's no fun in it no more.
Yeah, and my wife's watched and go, why didn't you shoot that buck? And certain times I'm out in the woods and I've got a room full of deer heads, so I don't, and I like watching them sometimes. And if you ever watch a buck or a doe or any deer at all come into a field, they'll actually raise their fur, and then and when they raise that fur, they almost like flip it, and they come out in the field, and then they start their fur turns lighter. When they go back into the woods, they get, they'll do the same thing, raise their fur, it goes dark. And I had an Indian friend tell me that, and I actually watched it. And the first time I seen it, I'm like, no way. And then I started noticing it, and then I was watching this all the time happen, and I'm like, this is crazy. And this buck come out one day, and it was a nice buck. It was probably 130-inch, 140-inch 10 point. I mean, it was a really nice buck, and it come 15 yards, and I never even grabbed the bow. I just watched it. It was curling its lip, and it was doing soft grunts, and after it got out there 150 yards, I looked there. I said, why didn't I shoot that? She goes, I don't know. Why didn't you shoot it? I was like, I don't know, but that was pretty cool, wasn't it? Yeah. So it's there's many stories like that. My brother was filming one day, had his big camera, and he's going, shoot, and I got the bow pulled back and I let go. And something told me I had one buck tag left, and it was a really nice 8-point. But something told me not to shoot that deer, and I didn't. And then my trail cameras went like completely just 1.5-year-old bucks and does, and not many of them. And then right towards the end of rut, I had a nice buck show up, and I was like, the chance of getting that deer are very slim. And I didn't get it. My brother shot it the very last day of bow season in Michigan. So I was like, you know what? I didn't get it, but I could have, So something told me not to shoot that deer, and I'm pretty sure it's the deer I shot the following year, and it was much bigger. So, I just it's almost like the man upstairs said, "Don't shoot it." Something was just telling me, "Don't shoot that deer," and I didn't. So there's many stories like that, Many.
The man upstairs has a lot to do with enjoying this world.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you this. You mentioned a man upstairs. Do you incorporate God in a lot of what you do?
I don't really talk about it. I'm a big believer. I don't go to church or anything, but I do pray every night. I pray when I go into the woods. I pray every time I go down the water. It might not be a loud prayer. It's a silent prayer, but I always make sure, I pray for safety, for a good time, and just keep us healthy and safe. That's it, And I think, and sometimes, it just, I believe it, I'm not trying to say it's 100%, but there's been times I'm like, man, if you could just make this deer just turn, and I'm talking like all the way around, and all of a sudden it turns, and here it comes right to me 15 yards broadside. I mean, that without blowing a grunt call or doing anything different, how's that happen?
Brother, I right there is exactly what I tell people, and they laugh at me.
Yeah.
So I have closed my eyes and said, come on, God, today, just make this happen today. I need just one moment, one time. And I always say before I shoot, and you know what? So I'm going to tell you something. I love this subject. Is this year twice, I was so worried about self-filming.
Yep.
That every deer I've ever killed with a bow or a gun, I pray, close my eyes and say, please, Lord, let me take a nice clean harvest. Let me put the animal down with no suffer or pain.
Yep, we do the same thing. We do the same thing, and my twin boys do the same as well. And it's funny because my son will come out of the woods and he'll say, Dad, I prayed for this to happen last night, and everything happened. I mean, what else? Is it a coincidence? I don't think so. Not as many times. Maybe one time it could be, but not 50. Not 60 times. There's no way. And one of the times, I'm not kidding you, this deer was 350 yards to come out of a standing cornfield out into a wheat field, and I've got all plowed dirt, and it's got to come 200 yards through dirt, chisel plow, to even think about passing my stand. And behind me, they built 2 houses, so there's really nothing there for the deer. And I'm going, and I had a food plot there, but they chisel plowed it under, and the farmer told me it was gonna, and I'm like, this deer, I just said a prayer. I was like, if you could just turn this deer and make him come back here, and I open my eyes, and here he comes on a trot. And I mean, nothing makes sense besides saying that prayer. And I got it. I watched it. It went doop, and right there it was,
Amen. A freaking man. Absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
So this year twice, I got caught up self-filming. And I never said any of those things. I crippled 2 deer. First 2 deer I crippled in probably 20 years.
Right.
And I was like, it didn't hit me. If you want me to be honest, it didn't hit me till right now.
Right.
Our conversation, I just thought, dear Lord, that just is what happened.
Yeah.
And I always say the hand of God is huge in hunting. And I think too many people forget that.
They do. My dad, when I grew up, my dad was baptized Lutheran, but he never went to church, never told us to go to church, and so I never knew about it. I went to church a few times with friends and stuff like that, and that's about it. And then it was never. But my dad to this day, my dad he'll say, I pray. Nobody knows I pray, but I pray all the time, And I never knew it, until recently. So he'll say,
We
I say,
have a friend. We
yeah,
have a friend, Bob Chase. Bob says, this is my church. All are welcome. The man never
absolutely.
steps a day in and never, doesn't go to church. I'm not saying he never goes on occasions or whatever, but this is his church. That picture you're seeing right there, that video, that's his church.
Absolutely. When you get out there, what are you out there with? You're out there with his creation. You're not out there with your deer, You're out there with his creations. Them deer don't have to appear, And
There's
deer
Bob's
aren't
face. There's Bob right there. He just popped up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. Hey, that's awesome. And talking to Bob over the last little bit and talking now, I hear it from you and many others. It's amazing that there's so many people out there that know this little, I call it this little secret,
Right.
but it's not a secret. You know what I mean? Like, it's really not a secret. Everybody probably does it. We just don't tell each other.
Right.
See?
I don't remember if my dad misses right here or if he gets this one. But I'm moving around with the camera. They busted us. I think he puts a perfect shot on this one though. I'm almost certain he does.
Now, is this with a rifle? Oh yeah, it's a rifle. Oh
No,
no, it was a crossbow. Was that a crossbow?
No, it was a 350 Legend.
All I could see is I couldn't tell, to be honest. I could just see the hop in the.
Yep, he shot right there. You can see where he hit that blind.
Oh,
he goes, come on, but one comes back in and he gets it anyway.
It's my fault.
Yeah,
I love that with your videos.
Yeah, he said it's my fault.
He's like your videos on that.
Yeah, they come back. We got a spot where it's so overpopulated with does, but I love it. And people get mad. They're like, man, there's way too many does. And I'm like, I love those spots because I can take my friends, my family, and their family, and I can make sure everybody has meat,
Yeah, so absolutely.
I love those doe spots. I love it. And I sneak in there during rut and see big bucks too. So
Freezer Bound Outdoors just commented, just got my volume on. Where are you located, Sparrs?
I'm out of Michigan, right where the Blue Water Bridge is. Head over to Canada. I can look across and you can see Sarnia, Canada.
These Freezer Bound, I'll tell you what, man, in this YouTube industry, I have met in the last year so many awesome people.
Yeah, there's some great guys.
I am so, in 2 weeks, and not because it's a personal thing for him, but it's exciting for me. I'm going bow fishing on Corey Brosman's charter.
Oh, you're gonna have a blast.
I wasn't gonna go, and I realized it was Corey Brosman's, and I was like, yo, I'm going. I don't care what it costs.
Yeah.
So that's just stuff like that is you start meeting these guys and you start, again, you messaged us.
Yeah.
So, hey man, I'd love to come on talk about hunting. I was like, yeah, come on. I love it. This is what we do.
Absolutely.
And I can't speak for anybody else. I can speak for myself when I say, if I'm not hunting or fishing, I like to talk about hunting and fishing.
Yeah. My wife will tell you that. So my mom will say, okay, deer season's over. Yeah, we don't have to hear about it no more. My dad always says, you're going to hear about it every day about how we're going to plan next deer season.
It's true though. I mean, you never stop. And that's what I like about the podcast is we get, and in a podcast, we bring new people. We meet new people. We learn about them. We make more friends. Yeah. And I can say that I've made friends through the podcast. I absolutely enjoy talking. Shows are over and people message us, hey man, don't be afraid to reach out, and they message me. I love that. I love it, especially different states and different areas. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, and then like I said with the veterans giveaway, I'll throw a couple fishing trips in there, a couple turkey trips, but I always give them, like this giveaway this week, they're winning a bunch of stuff. And I'm not going to broadcast it all right now and give it away, but it's going to be a great giveaway for the veterans. And meeting those veterans and hearing those stories, just giving a little bit back just makes me feel a little better too, And it's absolutely amazing how many veterans absolutely love the outdoors, and they just don't get to go. So go, and to us, I go every day, and these guys to go set on a boat and just catch a couple of walleyes, it was like the greatest thing in the world to them, you know. But sitting there talking to them and hear their stories, it's crazy some of the stuff they've been through. Along with the kids too, taking the kids out there and getting the kids out fishing and meeting new kids, you know, that a lot of them didn't have a really good upbringing. Some of them had great upbringings, but every kid's different. And I've made good friends with good people because of this channel, you know. So I'm kind of glad that I let my buddy talk me into making a YouTube channel. I really am. I met some awesome people.
That's our goal. Our goal is to reach youth, veterans, handicap. That's what we want to do. I don't need to kill anything. I've killed so many things in my day that I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, right. I care. But if I'm there and part of it, that's just as exciting.
Yeah.
You know, do you feel the same way in that?
Yeah, absolutely I do. I tell the kids all the time, I'd rather watch you guys take your friends and watch you guys get them than me. And I put my kids on the bigger deer always. You know, I'm always like, you go over here and hunt, you know, or you go over here and hunt. Because to me, I get more adrenaline out of them saying, hey, I just hit one, you know. I love to track deer. I mean, my phone never, from October I should say the youth hunt, from the youth hunt all the way until January 1st, you never know if my phone's going to go off at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Somebody's calling me to go track a deer. And I'm up like a kid going to the candy store, you know. I'm up, oh, yeah, let's go. I'm out tracking, you know. So I just love it. I can't wait for those phone calls. They mean a lot to me, you know.
I love that people trust you and your skills enough.
Right.
That makes me always feel so well, you know.
Yeah. I got a video on my YouTube of tracking a guy named Scott's deer. He shot his biggest buck with a bow, and they looked for it and kicked it up and couldn't find it. And then he said it wasn't dead. And he sent me a picture of his arrow. I said, go to your house. I'll be out there in 3 hours. And it was about a 2.5 hour track, you know, but I edited the video down, but I never left track. And I said, is there any water around here? He goes, there's a creek way back in there. I said, okay. And guess where it was? You know, it was on top of that creek laying there. I told him where he hit the deer. I told him what happened is why the blood's slowing down. You know, it's going to start. There's going to be a bubble hanging out where, you know, you just nicked it. You nicked it really. And that's what he did. And opened up the guts there. And I told him right exactly what happened. He just looked at me when we found the deer and he couldn't believe it. And that man is atheist. Okay. But he thanked God. He was crying, emotional. What atheist person does that? There's none. There is none. But he'll still say he is. There's none. There's no. You just thank God. You know. So, and I had my son with me, and my son was praying right there. And it's not even our deer. He was like, "Please let us find this deer for Uncle Scott." He called him Uncle Scott for many years. There was a falling out there, but we'll get things patched up with him. But he said, let us find this deer. He was saying a prayer, and we did. I walked right up on that deer, and he said, I can't believe it, man. Biggest buck he's ever shot with a bow, you know. And I got that video on YouTube, and it's, even though we're not getting along, I know he still watches that video.
An atheist hunter, thank God when they found a deer. I just want you to ponder that, everybody, for 1 second. Just ponder that.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's what this sport does.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean? That's what this sport does. It brings us all together. It brings us a reality.
Absolutely. Nothing else makes sense.
I agree. I mean, I look back at the Indians. They didn't need gas.
No.
They didn't need all this stuff. They lived off of this great stuff God gave us.
Yep. And I put this pop-up blind, this little pop-up blind. I sat next to that camper, didn't even brush it in. And you should have seen the deer we had on camera at that spot. I mean, it was and it's some of the spots I set up, but my best, I'd say my best advice for early season all the way until full rut, when like you're all the way up until rut kicks in fully, hanging those vines and making a mock scrape. Every deer in the woods will hit that vine, and they communicate through that vine from running the pre-orbital glands on that licking branch, you know. So we make our own licking branch, and I always take about a 3/4 inch vine and hang it about chest high. And you'll know when a big buck's been in there because every tree around the area will be, you know, he's marking his territory at that point in time. And that's the spots I hunt. So I'll hang licking branches all over, but I might only hunt 2 of them. So
Okay, all right. I've always been taught to just do 1, possibly 2.
no, but I hang about, if I've got a 15-acre spot, I never get too close to the bedding. I can't say never. I have been real close. I've snuck in with a good wind and got real close, but I hang my licking branches on the way from a bedding to a food source, and I'll put cameras on those licking branches. And I'll let the buck rubs and I'll let the trail cams tell me which licking branch is going to be the one that's going to produce the whole year. Because a lot of people want to see a great big buck on camera. What I want to see is 15 different deer hitting that licking branch, because I know no matter what, that's where the biggest buck in the woods is going to end up being. So that's where I'll focus on.
I like that. Not to interrupt you. Rodney Thompson says, I know Sparrs in Michigan. Where does Big Sexy hunt? Big Sexy hunts in Pennsylvania.
Yep. I've got a family friend. I don't know where he lives in Pennsylvania, but he used to own a powder coating business. He's here from Michigan, but he moved to Pennsylvania. I just don't know. His name's Terry Kennedy, and he does do a lot of hunting down that way too. So
Pennsylvania Hunting and Fishing Addicts asks you, do you guys have many bear up there?
Yes, we actually we have quite a few bear up north and up into the UP, but there's like Lewiston and like that whole area, like everybody's looking at. So here's Michigan, right? Or here's Michigan. I don't know which way it looks on your camera. Here's Michigan. So like from here up. But what's absolutely crazy is there's not supposed to be bears here. I was 15 years old and I was hunting, and back then there was no bait laws. So I had like a bag of carrots and I pour molasses on the carrots, and my dad would walk around and go hunt his stand out mine, and a bear come in. I freaked out, and a bear run. But when a bear run, I got down out of the tree and I run yelling for my dad, and he said, "You're full of crap, blah, blah, blah." Well, there was a little bit of snow on the ground. My dad walked over and he said, "That does look like a bear track." We called the DNR. They confirmed it was a bear track. They ended up capturing the bear in Applegate, Michigan, and transferring it up to Alpena. Alpena is really good for bear. Ross Commons I heard there's certain areas going on, but yes, Michigan does have a lot of bear. It does. There's a lot of good bear hunting in Michigan.
That's a good question. Thanks, guys. I like the questions.
Very good question.
I always love interaction from the viewers. I think that's always a great part of what we do.
It sure is.
I love the videos. I love that Chris can pull all your videos up and show your stuff as we go in your adventures.
Yeah, that's cool.
I always love that. I guess this is probably. I think of your kids and your wife. What's if you were to go with your wife hunting, and I love that your wife hunts. That's a big thing for me. I'm not married. When I always wanted her to join and be part of what I did.
Right.
And she refused. Like, oh, that's stupid. That's dumb. So the fact that your wife does it, I think, is incredible. Yeah. What's her favorite thing to hunt? And before you say that, I have to point out, I've seen a video of her snoring in a blind.
Yeah.
Or it was pictures. I think it was pictures, and you were pointing at her.
Yeah. Yep. She had her head leaning against me, snoring. Her favorite thing to hunt's deer. She shot the I forgot which year it was, but she had shot the second largest turkey in the state of Michigan for a female that year, and that was her first and last bird she ever shot, because it was one of them times where the turkey didn't come in and we had to run and gun type of thing, and it was miles and miles and miles of footwork, and she didn't like that. So she likes the deer hunting. But her favorite thing in the world, her absolute favorite thing in the world, is walleye fishing. She just loves walleye fishing. And she loves trolling for salmon. She loves to troll too, because she's getting her suntan while we're fishing, and she loves to grill salmon. So, but her favorite
what's your favorite?
I'd have to say my favorite thing is deer hunting, and then second after that, I'm going straight into the. When I say fish, I'm talking salmon, sturgeon, walleye, crappie. I'm talking all of it, because I don't have a favorite. They're all my favorite.
So
whatever.
Deer?
What's that?
When you say deer, are you talking bow, gun?
Bow hunting. Bow hunting's my favorite.
That seems to be everybody's favorite because a deer getting up close and personal.
Oh yeah, I shot my closest one at 1 yard.
1 yard, really?
With my wife. Yep, she was there.
1 yard. Is that on video?
No, I didn't have a
I'd love to see
YouTube.
that.
Nope.
I'd love to see that.
It was crazy though. We got out of the truck and we turned to walk into the spot, and this doe come running by with her ears laid back, and I heard a snort wheeze, and I said, "What the heck?" I got down on one knee, and the doe is right over here to the right of me, and my wife's standing like on this trail in front of the truck, and the buck come past her, and I went, "Hey, and it stopped right here. And I just lifted across, went boom, and it just dropped right there. I said, "Can you believe what just happened?" And it was a nice, pretty big buck. And she goes, "I cannot believe this." So I went up to the landowner and knocked on the door. I was like, "We don't have to go in the woods." He goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "I got one right here." He goes, "What?" I was like, "Just run a doe right to me." But he said he was watching buck. He kept telling us that like every other day he'd have 3 or 4 bucks chasing does through his yard. So, and then when he looked at the one, he goes, "That's not the biggest one, but that's one of them." I'm like, "Well, I'm not happy with it, you know."
Yeah, when
1 yard.
When you're chewing on that jerky, them horns don't seem to matter, does it?
No, they don't taste good. They don't. The dogs like them. A dog will chew on them. They're good for their teeth.
Bob, Pennsylvania Hunting and Fishing Addict says, "My wife went rattlesnake hunting with me, and last week she didn't kill me." That's a plus, Bob.
That's a good sign.
That's a plus.
That's
You ever hunt rattlesnakes? You ever go hunting for snakes like that?
No, I've never been.
There you go, Bob. I got you another one.
Yeah, I've never been.
I'll tell you what, one time, and that's it's pretty cool.
Is it?
It's pretty cool. I was terrified, man. Listen, when I tell you I was that little kid peeing down his leg, that was me when I was going. You know what I mean?
I want to get an alligator.
Now, hunt or just catch?
I want to bow fish it.
Yes, me too. That would be incredible.
Yeah.
I was supposed to go to Florida last year and do one, and it canceled out on me.
Yeah, I want to do it bad. But you know, I've never really left Michigan. It's hard to when you got everything here. I left Michigan twice my whole life. I went to Niagara Falls with my grandparents when I was a kid, and then I went on a fly-in fishing trip in Wawa, Ontario when I was a kid, and I've just been in Michigan ever since. I've never left.
When you have everything you love inside, buddy, why leave it?
I know it, and it's great here. A lot of people talk bad about certain, and there are certain towns, and I think that's probably in every state. I do want to travel. I want to see new things. Absolutely, I'm definitely going to. I've got so many invitations now that I've started this YouTube to go do amazing things. I can't turn it down. You know, I'm just trying to find the time to do it. You know, absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's us. We don't really leave where we're at. We continue to. I'm not saying we don't go like maybe over to New Jersey to go maybe deep sea fishing once or twice, but
right.
We don't really leave. We love where we're at. Pennsylvania we love it. I don't like some of the rules and laws and stupidity that goes with it, but I love it here.
I think that's in every state too.
You know, I love it here. It is what it is, and I've met some good people here, and I think that makes it really cool. Ringer, Ron, I seen you, buddy. Hi. I seen you were up. That guy's with Bo Matt Outdoors. So there's about 3 or 4 guys from YouTube that stopped down here already.
Nice.
Yeah. I threw axes with him the other day.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Dude, that was pretty cool. Sal Marinello.
That's a buddy of mine. We just went jigging the other night. We did really well. I just put a video up today of me and Sal jigging.
I got to go to the West Side State and get some king salmon.
Yeah, me and him are going to go to the West Side after Kings. We just went out jigging. Like I said, I just uploaded the video today on YouTube of me and him jigging.
Now, do you edit all your own videos?
Yep, I do it all. Yep, I edited it all that stuff.
I hate it.
It takes a while. It takes you all day.
I hate it. I put hours into stuff and then lose it. And I'm like, oh, my God.
I've done that. I had listen to this. My first video of deer hunting on YouTube, I had shot 2 bucks, both of them over 100 inches. One was well over 110 inches. It was close to 115. It was a good buck. Opening day of bow season. within 15 minutes, I just tagged out, and YouTube took my video down because I did not know that I had to hit not made for kids. And I'm showing them how to gut the deer, and it was a beautiful video, but they took it down. And in one day, they had 5.4 thousand views on it. And then they made me take it. They took it down and gave me a strike, but I appealed it. They took the strike away, and then they sent me a message on how to do it. And I always got to hit not made for kids. Like, I have to hit not made for kids if somebody swears or a butt crack shows or anything. I have to hit not made. I'm a big guy. Sometimes my butt crack shows. I got to hit not made for kids.
Yeah, we always hit it just because it's a safety thing. It's just better to do it than not.
Yep, and it was all because of it said blood and gore, which, I mean, I was in the wrong. I didn't hit not made for kids. So, but that was a great video, man. And editing the videos now, that's where I really started learning how to edit at that point on. Sometimes I'm editing for 6-7 hours. It depends on how the video goes. Like the video of me and Saul, I think it's an 18-minute video, but it was an hour and 48 minutes of footage down to an 18-minute video.
Yeah, and you're trying to figure out what's best, how you can minimize, I know, man. I call Chris times. I'm half crying. I'm like, I hate this, dude. I hate this. Why can't you do it?
It's not easy. It's really not. There's a lot that goes into
it. Chris is really good at it. I mean, he's really good at it. The only issue is he's busy like everything else. He's just wrote another book. He's always on the go, that guy, like I am. So it's hard. We can't meet somewhere in the middle.
Right. And then like on YouTube, you guys know, to meet their criteria to get monetized, you got to have 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers in a year. And I said, man, I'll never get that. I had it in 3 months. I was like, what? I thought I'd never get there.
And them long videos are key to watch hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get them long videos and people watching them, they're key to watch hours, man.
They absolutely are. Yes, they are.
You figure 10 people watch 20 minutes. I mean, that's right there. It's easy. It's easy trying to hit numbers in.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I just seen we are at an hour, which is unbelievable because honestly, I didn't even know we were at an hour. I normally at about 45, Chris sends me a text and says, watch time or don't. I didn't see. I'm even double checking just because I'm curious if he did and we were talking. I missed it.
Yeah, this video right here, I just uploaded today.
This is the one right here.
Yeah.
So
I actually break 2 rods in this video.
You broke 2.
Saul did, yeah.
We'll just give him a little preview and make him want more. So,
yeah.
There we go.
Oh, I like that theory, Chris. I like the way you just did that. Give him a little preview and then cut it off.
There you go.
That's what I learned from my drug dealer.
You never know what's coming from this guy, ever.
Seems like a great guy. I love this. Like I said, I always jump on your guys' podcast. Most of the time I'm laughing, it's always funny, always good. That's how a podcast is supposed to be,
Yeah, you never know what's coming from him. You should see us. We set up crow decoys. I actually have a video getting released here with Chris's funny stuff. Crow hunting is coming out. You have to watch for it. I put it up in a YouTube short. What I did is cut all his smart comments and
those
dumb.
are not made for kids.
Yeah, stuck them together into a YouTube short, so that'll be out soon. In the next week, I schedule a week at a time, so at some point it'll be out here within the week.
Nice.
So you'll enjoy that. You have to keep watching. I thought that was funny. He just comes up with stuff. I don't know where he comes up with it. I don't. Like, we'll be hunting and he'll just come up with something crazy. I'd be like, well, where did that come from? And we're laughing.
Yeah, I'm the same way. It's just, certain times, like that day, that video I just put up, it's not on video, obviously, but we're out there and it got quiet for like 5 minutes. I just started singing an old Johnny Cash song. We just both started laughing. And he goes, man, you made me miss a fish. And I said, you just made me miss one. But that's what I love, having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what really makes like I said, your small circle.
Yeah. Yep.
You know the guys you can say dumb stuff to.
Yes,
The
you do.
guys you can have some fun with and never think twice. And I think that's what makes it so much
I
better,
agree. Absolutely.
you know? But listen, I do not want to cut you short. We promised each other about it a year ago. We're going to start cutting in an hour.
Yeah.
So again, we never hit an hour. If you look, we're at an hour 5.
Right.
We've never within our hour mark at all,
Right.
Sean. I mean, ever. But
Yeah.
we
It's good anyways. I gotta get up with my daughter anyhow. So
usually start niching each other at 45, and honestly, there's no niche. So I thought that was really funny. We were all talking and enjoying it, didn't even realize where we were.
right.
So I'm going to ask you the last question I ask everybody when they leave this show. So I'm looking really forward to hearing your answer because of your so much various stuff you do. If you had to inspire or give advice to someone out there to get involved in the outdoors, what would it be?
The best advice I could give, if there's, are you talking like somebody that's never been into the outdoors?
Yeah, or anybody struggling, maybe anything you feel.
Just get out and take a deep breath and enjoy God's creations. That's my best. That's the advice I give to everybody, because you never know what you're going to see. You never, and there's, I've had some of my friends go through some real bad depression after they got out of the service, and I've had friends go through depression that's never even been in the service, just bad times in their life. And I've got them out hunting, and it's our fishing. Some of them don't hunt; they fish, and it's took their worries away, and they're great people, and now they're doing the same thing. They're inspiring kids and struggling families, and it's just a great thing. My best advice: just get outdoors and enjoy God's creation. That's the best advice I could give.
I think that's great advice. If you remember, God says peace on earth.
Absolutely.
He created this earth, and it's real easy to have peace in it.
Yep.
Ben
Say,
told me
Chris.
once that I should be breathing in the ocean. I'm like, dude, that's called drowning. But I guess, I don't want to disappoint the guy, so I gotta.
Dude, this is what he does. Where does he come up with it?
If you tell me to breathe in the ocean, I'm going to say, do I get a snorkel?
I know, right?
Here's the thing, though. I mean, he wanted
upset for a
advice. I
minute.
gave him advice. He didn't ask for what kind of advice. That's not my fault. He should have been more. He should have been more specific with his questions.
A little bit more specific would have helped.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can't help it. He said he want to go hunting, and I take him a rock. That's not my fault. I can't help he didn't bring a gun. That's
right.
Listen, I'll let you on this. When my dad was a kid, and I wasn't there to witness this, but my dad he's a pastor now. I want to tell you before I continue.
Oh, that's cool.
He he took a double barrel shotgun. They had this guy, and they were great friends with him, but yeah, he was a little slow.
Right.
And they messed with him one time, and they took a double barrel and they bent both barrels like this for him. and sent him in the woods to go hunting.
Oh.
Yeah. He said, if I could go back and do it all over again, I don't. He said, we all laughed so hard at the truck. All of us were hysterical. And he's like, I don't know what we would have done. I don't know.
Oh.
But it's amazing. I mean, things like that's what it's about again. We have a lot of fun. I mean, the stories.
Yeah.
Think about stories. I mean, you just come back to the truck and be like, I love hunting with my dad. It's one of my favorite things to do. My dad's real sick. I don't get to spend a lot of time with him. So when he gets a day to go out, I love that.
Absolutely.
And being able to call him up or even go to his house and say, hey, Dad, you should see. So we got this youth hunter this year. Never hunted turkeys. I took him out and got him his first turkey this year. I put a video up on it. And I got to call my dad and I'll be like, hey, you ain't gonna believe this, Pop. We got him his bird. Oh, that's awesome. I mean, it's just to, tell him how it happened, how it was. And I think these YouTube videos do that too. I think they help tell the story, right? Isn't that the purpose of it?
Absolutely. 100%.
And I feel like if you're telling the story, I think that a lot of subscribers and viewers come from that.
They do. Yeah.
But Sean, I'm going to say thank you. I don't want to continue to go. I know you got to get up. I got to get up at 4. That's one of the reasons we always promise each other that. And we start losing viewers about an hour.
Right.
I want to say thank you for joining us. And
Thank
I
you
hope
for
God
having me.
blesses what you're doing, blesses your family, and continues to stay with you as you do it.
Same with you. Appreciate you.
Thank you very much. Stay in touch. And I look forward to talking to you again.
Absolutely.
Have a great night.
You have a
God
good
bless
one.
everybody.
Thanks, everybody.